So if you're out there right now and you are seeking to find different frameworks of personal development, you're looking for different systems and you're looking for different ideas that will allow you to become a better version of yourself, then I want you to watch this whole entire video to the end, right? We're talking about books today, all right? Now, the reason why I'll never stop talking about books is because it transformed how I see the world. You know, the more I read, the more I realized how much I did not know, which then became such an important thing for me to learn more, right? And discover more about myself, the world, the environment that I live in. And so with books, you get exposure to information, knowledge, ideas, and history that can help you just improve as an individual. And when it comes to history, it comes to politics, and it comes to entertainment and personal growth. I mean, the books goes on and on and on. And you know what's so great about this? Books are so cheap that most people don't realize. I think so. At least I did not think books were that cheap. I've touched on this before, but books are a lot cheaper than most people think. I mean, the most expensive book I've bought so far is Psycho-Cybernetics, right? Which is by Maxwell Maltz. And I think I paid like $15 for this book. But to me, the knowledge you get from this book, and it's not even one of my favorite books out there, but the knowledge you get from this book, for $15, I'm taking that any day. And then I have The Power of the Subconscious Mind, as well as a Man Thinketh, right sitting up here, which this book only costs like $5.76 from Amazon. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. And then The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, which I pay like $8, maybe $7.96 for this, from Joseph Murphy. Incredible and fantastic books. The reason why I wanted to show this is because this is what I'm talking about when I talk about frameworks, models, mental models, different systems, habits that will reshape your own outlook on life. And then you start to behave a lot different, right? A lot of us, we just need to shift our perception. We just need to see the world in a different way, right? Most of us weren't born with a lot of these beliefs that are stopping us and limiting us from doing simple things, like being in front of the camera and making videos, right? How many of you think, like, if you do this video, you probably might lose all your friends, or like your family members might not talk to you no more? These are things that become a mental conversation with a lot of us. And I experienced this myself. And through reading, you come to realize, wow, like this was just all made up in my mind, like, right? And there's so much more, right? You start to build different frames of seeing the world. And if I've learned anything about learning, is the more you read, the more you listen, the more you write intentionally, clearly, you start to refine how you see the world. And the people that read better, it turns out that they also tend to write better. And then if they tend to write better and read better, and then they tend to also communicate ideas a lot more better than most people. And if I could tell you anything, any skill that you might want to have for the rest of your life, is your ability to communicate your ideas in a very effective way. I think it's one of the most important things you can have as an individual, right? Being able to collect complex information or ideas, concepts, and break it down in the most simplest form for the average person that might be a third grader or second grader to understand whatever the principle or the concept is, and be able to tell somebody out there, possibly through their own way and examples. That's a powerful skill set, right? And again, not just that type of communication. Obviously, there's different forms of communication, relationship communication. It goes in different ways. But you are going to be a problem if you can do this in a great way. And so I just want you to know that if you're looking for systems, great. I mean, you can start with just these 3 books, incredible books. And you're like, but Sam, why do I need these books? Okay, I said, Man Thinketh. I'm telling you, James Allen, that's a great book. If you know anything about the power of the subconscious mind, right? Read a lot of book on cognitive therapy. And I'm telling you, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy, one of the best books out there. And then I don't need to tell you about Maxwell Maltz, Psycho-Cybernetics. You probably came across a ton of videos on YouTube where people were talking about how great this book is. Pick one of these books, $6, $5 if in America. And by the time you finish one of these books, right? And what I like to do, which is what I like to recommend for a lot of people, take the time to listen to the audio version of the book as many times as possible, and then read the book as much as possible if you can, and repeat that process over until it almost like for the next few months and weeks during your conversations, right? Some of the concepts, some of the ideas, some of the things in the books begin to come up. That's when you really absorb and embody those things. When you get to that point, it just happens to be that most people tend to take the right actions and the things that they learned from the book, right? And so repetition through listening, through reading, through writing repeatedly, you find yourself behaving in the way that aligns with the person that you have a concept of in your mind, at least if you just self that you prefer to be, right? Definitely pick these books up to start with learning new frameworks, models, just different ways of thinking, because some of us just need to shift how we see the world, and we can sit up here like, listen, man, I'm no different than any content creator out there. I'm not different than you watching me right now that you might like this video and think it's great. Like I'm no different. Like I'm not special. Obviously, we all need to build these skill sets, right? And there's levels to it as you get better. Like I'm not the greatest communicator, like, but I do know how to make these simple videos the way that works for me at this very moment. And as time goes by, you will improve, you know, like this is just the evolution of growth. But I'm telling you right now, you start picking these books, it will change your perception. Your concept will be different. And all of a sudden, if you are interested in making videos like this and being in front of the camera and doing YouTube videos and TikToks and Instagrams and Reels, and like, it will become a lot natural for you, right? You begin to break these limiting beliefs, like the fear of being in front of the camera, what people might say about you, your friends and colleagues and, you know, like your coworkers and those type of things. You'll be able to break away from those things and realize most of those people don't care. They have their own aspirations. Like, will some of your friends and your family members would love for you to, you know, obviously succeed? Of course, but like, I'm telling you, you will continue to do videos and you will have to learn how to edit. You're going to have to learn how to make thumbnails and all these things. And none of them will really care because most of them will not be interested, but it's just a block in your mind. And I'm telling you, when you pick up books, they reshape how you see the world going forward. I promise you. Give this a try. And if you do, you will learn some models, and specifically mental models. You will learn some insights about how the mind works, and maybe you've been thinking in a wrong way that's affecting how you are performing in the real world in terms of getting closer to your own goals and your aspirations, right? These books will reshape that for you. So definitely give this a try and let me know how everything go, all right? If you find a lot of value in a video like this, share with a friend, a family member, you know, somebody that possibly wants to just look at life a little bit different. They just want a different way of thinking. Send that video to them. They need a video like this, right? Maybe they can throw it on in their car, which is where I like to listen to a lot of my podcasts, my personal development stuff. Yeah, like, you know, they will see some sort of value in this. It definitely makes a difference. And then, you know, YouTube thinks that, man, like, okay, this video is valuable out there. Let's share with more people as well. Which means you also need to like the video if you found this valuable. All right. Now, if anything resonated with you at all, if anything that I said, you like, all right, man, like, I never thought about it like that. Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate this. Let me know in the comment below. And also, I would like for you to tell me, what are your top 3 books you've read this year so far? Or maybe should I say, what are your top 3 favorite books that you've read so far within the last 10 years? Within the last 10 years, what are your top 3 favorite books? All right, let me know in the comment below, and you'll be surprised. Maybe you recommend a book that reshape how I see the world. You recommend a book that changes somebody's perspective, right? Like, listen, man, we all learn from each other. Like, I learn from the comments people might give me, and you guys learn from some of the things that I might say, or maybe the way I say might resonate with you just at that very moment because you needed that at that very moment, right? And so let us know in the comment below, and you'll go out there and make today being March the 16th of 2025, at least in the United States, Virginia. Yo, go out there and make today one of the best days of the week. Stay blessed. Listen, you won't change overnight, but little drops of water, like the African Proverbs goes, at least I'm thinking it's an African proverb. I believe it is. Little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. Little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. Over time, compounding is my favorite thing on the planet. Now, you know, I started with one book, and now I have a lot of books. Can't count them no more. Too many on Audible. Too many. I don't have as many physical books, but I have a ton of books online. I bought so many of them. And it all started with one book. You know, it might start with just one video for you today, and then they will recommend you another video of mine, and then the next video from somebody else. They might send you something from Chris Williamson, and then next you know, Stephen Bartlett, and then you get something from Lewis Howes, and then all of a sudden you are listening to different types of content. Your algorithm begin to change, right? You talk about having access to better information, so you are not being so distracted, watch this as many times as possible. It makes a big difference. I'm done talking here. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.